All right, good morning everyone and welcome to the Pink Palace. This is my apartment in New York. So what I have for you guys today is just a simple 15-minute video. It's a routine that I usually do when I'm a little strapped for time in the morning, just to get my body moving and to get a little bit of energy going before I start my work day. So a couple of precursors before I start this first video. First, I do live in New York City, as I mentioned, so don't be surprised if you hear sound coming from the street, because I do live off a pretty busy street, and if there's anything super loud, I'll make sure I pause so you're not straining to hear me over the ambulance or fire truck or very loud music that someone's playing from their car in the background. And then second thing, I do live with a cat. His name is Peter, and he very frequently finds his way to my mat when I practice. So it wouldn't shock me if the minute I have a camera on me that he decides he really, really wants to be over here when I practice. So without further ado, welcome to Yoga in the Pink Palace, and here we go. All right, so I moved the camera a little further back so you guys can see everything that I'm doing, because I realize the minute I go into downward dog or the minute I'm standing that I'm probably gonna get a little bit cut off. I told you the minute I had a camera on me, he'd be over here. So to begin our practice, we're just gonna start by taking a comfortable seat. So whatever that means for you, whether it's, yes, Peter, whether it's gonna be your legs in crisscross applesauce or a comfortable pose, or if you like to sit on the heels of your feet, that's really fine too. Just whatever is comfortable for you. And then just basically place your hands up facing towards the sky and close your eyes. And just start to breathe. Just take a deep breath in and let it out. Deep breath in, let it out the mouth. And just continue taking those deep breaths in and filling the lung space with all of that energy and air around you. And while you're doing this, I usually find that the best way to get myself into a meditative state is to start by focusing on the sound around me and just acknowledging it. And that's especially easy for me to do since perfect timing. I have cars on the street, so I'm very easily able to acknowledge that's a car. That car is honking, and then just let it go. And that way it just kind of helps your mind get through letting things go, like your thought patterns and all of that stuff, but it's a good way to ease into it. And then once you find yourself eased into it, just take a moment to sit here and just be in the space that you're in, be in your body, and try to take yourself away if you can from all of your thoughts. Just be. And while we're here, I figure I'll share this quote with you guys. And this quote has been with me for a while now. A lot of my friends who know me, or people who practiced with me back when I was first getting my teaching license, this quote was kind of my guiding quote for everything I do. And the quote goes like this: "There are two ways of spreading light in the world: to be the candle or the mirror that reflects it." And that was by Edith Wharton. She's an author. But I think that quote is so important in everything we do, and especially right now, there's a lot of hurt in the world, and people are struggling right now. I'm sure you are well aware of that. I definitely am. And I think that if we can find ways to be the light in the world, then the world will be a much better place. So just take a couple more breaths here. And slowly start to bring your focus back to the room. Maybe move your fingers, flutter your eyes open. Just get some movement in your body. Maybe warm up your legs a little bit, just rubbing the palms of your hands on your thighs. And then from here, making sure that you're keeping your back upright. Inhale. And bring your arms overhead, stretched out towards the sky, and bring your gaze to follow. And then on an exhale, we're going to bend to the right hand side. And maybe bring that right arm out a little bit more, just to get more of a stretch if you can. Filling air in the side body. And then from here you can even get a little bit of a bend in by just twisting back and bringing your gaze to the ceiling. And then inhale, up to the sky. Exhale, bringing it down to the left-hand side, finding that nice bend. And just bringing air to the side body. And then when you're ready, just twisting a little bit and bringing the gaze up to the sky. And then inhale, up to the sky. Exhale, bringing the left hand to meet the right knee, twisting to the right side. Inhale, lengthen the spine, and exhale if you can. Just find a little more of the twist. It doesn't have to be dramatic, but just enough. Inhale, back to center. You're probably getting the gist by now. And exhale, bringing it down to the left side, just copying that same pose. And inhaling, lengthening the spine, and finding a little bit more stretch in the back body. Inhale, back to center. And exhale, drop the hands to the knees. And now we'll work on the shoulders a little bit. I know for me, my shoulders tend to be, they get very tight because I'm working at my computer all day. I get a little bit of a hunchback. I try to be aware of it, but you know, there's only so much you can do when you're quite literally hunched over a laptop, and I feel like a lot of us probably are right now. So what you're going to do is you're just going to drop the head, so that way your chin is almost touching your chest here, but not quite, so you're gonna have a little bit of space. And then just take some breaths in, letting this hang, making sure your spine is still elongated. And then just bringing the chin to meet the shoulder on each side. You don't have to go crazy with the distance you're doing. It's just really opening up the back of the neck and getting a little bit of a stretch in there, which is kind of a difficult area to stretch. And just do this at your own pace. Remembering to be gentle with your body. back to center and slowly lift the gaze. Maybe push your hair out of your face if you're like me and refuse to wear a hair tie. And we're gonna work on the shoulder area. So you're gonna inhale, bring the shoulders up to the ears, and exhale, let it go. I know for me, I can always really feel the tightness right here when I do that. So if it does hurt a little bit, just take it slowly. You don't have to take it all the way up to the ear. Just take it as far as possible. So just do a couple of those, inhaling and exhaling, letting the shoulder go. Inhale and exhale. And then to finish it out, we'll just do some shoulder rolls. So bringing it up and back, up and back, up and back, and then maybe focusing on one side. There's no really, right way to do this, but just don't overwork them. But just getting a little bit of rotation in that shoulder area really helps with the shoulder blades. Just helps open everything up. Up and back, up and back, up and back, up and back. You can tell clearly this side is the one that's pretty strange for me right now. Oh, yeah, okay. So from there, we're going to find our way into a tabletop and move out of this seated position. So we will get on our hands and our knees, making sure that everything is properly stacked. So by that, I mean that it should all be very parallel, like your back, quite literally, should be like a tabletop, like we could place a vase on my back or your back if you were a table. So that means that you're gonna have 90-degree angles between the palm of the hand and the forearm, and you're gonna have a 90-degree angle between the back of the thigh and the start of the back of the leg there. And from here, we're going to inhale and drop the belly, cow pose, and exhale, cat pose. And you can even come up on the tips of your fingers for this if you want to get more of a stretch. I always do, just because it really helps my spine. But whatever feels comfortable for you. So we'll just do a couple of those in our own time and our own way. Inhale, drop the belly, maybe find a little bit of movement in the back. Exhale, cat pose. Inhale. Exhale. Once you feel satisfied with your cat-cow, we're gonna find our way back to tabletop. And something I really like to do, and this is also another very work-related thing, but the wrists often get really tired. So you'll just take the right hand side first, and you're gonna flip the wrist backwards, so it'll be like a full 180. And you're just going to go clockwise around the wrist first to begin with. It doesn't need to be anything too drastic, just a little bit of movement in that wrist area to help open it up and make sure that there's not a ton of tension there and stress that's being held there. There we go. And then we're just gonna go the other way just to even it out. And once we find ourselves back in center, we're gonna flip that back to normal, and we're gonna flip the left hand side and just go clockwise around there. And then counterclockwise. And then flipping it back to face the front in your tabletop position. And from here, since it's usually the morning that I'm doing this, I mean, it is the morning now too, I actually like to bring myself to child's pose first, which A lot of people from here would usually go to downward facing dog so they could do Surya Namaskar, which is a sun salutation. But I like giving myself a little bit of break because I'm usually still pretty tired in the morning. So to get into child's pose, all you're gonna do is you're gonna lean back on your heels and you're just gonna fold the top of the feet under. So you're not gonna be pressing into the mat like you were. You're gonna fold under so you can fall back on it. And you can either outstretch your arms facing forward. You can do this if this feels comfortable. And what I like to do is I like to actually bring the hands behind me and just lay my head just like that on top of the mat. But whatever feels comfortable for you. For some people, it's stretching forward. For some people, it is just having their hands crossed in front of their head. This should be a very comfortable position. So whatever you need to do to make it comfortable, do it. And then once you're here, just let the body relax a little bit. We won't be here super long, and I'm gonna get out of this so that way when you guys get up from it, I'm not laying face down on the ground half asleep. But you won't be in this for long, really. You just want to be here for a couple of minutes, maybe even just a minute, just to relax a little bit. And then once you feel that you are comfortable with that and you've done what you need to do just to give your body a little rest, you'll find yourself back in tabletop. Put my hair to the other side. Back in tabletop. And then you're going to press through the palms and lift into downward facing dog. And just really stretch out the legs here. Just pedal them. Do whatever feels comfortable. For me, it's usually getting a little bit of a twist in my back. But yes, that's our 15-minute timer. So I guess we're over. But all you're gonna do from here, since we're almost done, is just get the stretch in. Really is what's important for me in downward facing dog, especially if you're doing it in the morning. And once you feel that you've like really stretched it out back there, you're gonna take a deep breath in, and on that inhale, you're just going to walk your hands forward, and I'll face you guys for this so you can see what I'm doing. But essentially, you will be in a ragdoll pose when you get here. So make sure, and you can breathe, make sure that you just have about 2 fists width between your feet. And then inhale, you're gonna half lift, so bringing the palm of the hand to the knee and half lifting the back, so it's almost like your back is a table in this position as well. And then on your exhale, you're gonna bend back down, just hanging a little bit. And on an inhale, you're gonna bring it all the way up, hands up to the sky, and exhale, bringing the hands to heart center.